Peace and wholeness, family. It's your host, Rafael Flatplane, back here with another one. As I get this stream situated, I'm going to go on and talk about some more voter fraud that's going on and some more of our president-elect policies and mandates that will be coming if he is to be the president. Peace and wholeness, family. Peace and wholeness, your host, Rafael Flatplane, back here with another one. As I get this stream situated, I'm going to go on and talk about some more just bear with voter fraud that's going on, and some more of our president-elect policies and mandates that will be coming if he is to be the president. Peace and wholeness, family. Peace and wholeness, your host, Rafael Flatplane, back here with another one. As I get this stream situated, I'm going to go on and talk about some more just bear with voter fraud that's going on, and some more of our president-elect policies and mandates that will be coming if he is to be the president. Peace and wholeness, family. Peace and wholeness, your host, Rafael Flatplane, back here with another one. As I get this stream situated, I'm going to go on and talk about some more just bear with voter fraud that's going on, and some more of our president-elect policies and mandates that will be coming if he is to be the president. Peace and wholeness, family. Peace and wholeness, your host, Rafael Flatplane, back here with another one. As I get this stream situated, I'm going to go on and talk about some more just bear with voter fraud that's going on, and some more of our... Well, that was interesting. Well, anyway, we're going to get this show on the road, family, and we're going to jump right into this. Now, right of foreigners. What are the right of foreigners? Foreigners have the right to vote. Do they? And what is a foreigner? So let's jump into this. The rights of foreigners to vote in the United States has historically been a contentious issue. A foreigner in this context is a person who is not a citizen of the United States. Since enactment of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996, federal law has prohibited non-citizens from voting in federal elections, punishing them by fines, imprisonment, inadmissibility, and deportation. Exempt from punishment is any non-citizen who, at the time of voting, had two natural or adoptive U.S. citizen parents who began permanently living in the United States before turning 16 years old and who reasonably believed that he or she was a citizen of the United States. Now, what have we been dealing with the United States and voter fraud? There have been a lot of things going on with Biden's quote-unquote being the new president-elect, and by getting many votes, supposedly the most votes ever in history. Yet they're not telling us who the people is that are voting. But we have this historical number of votes, right? So with this non-voter fraud thing that's going on, let's check this out. Non-citizens and illegal immigrants are registered to vote in New York, election officials say. Todd Valentine, New York Board of Elections co-director, and Nick LaLota, Suffolk County Elections Commissioner, said some citizens and illegal immigrants incorrectly get registered to vote in the state of New York. Now, with this special election that's just happened where ballots were being placed by mail, right? So if they have all these addresses on file and they're just sending out the ballots, people filling out the ballots, sending them back, whether they're citizens or not, are they counting those ballots? Are those ballots being put in with the numbers that we see that's going on today? Do non-citizens vote in U.S. elections? Abstract. In spite of substantial public controversy, very little reliable data exists concerning the frequency with which non-citizen immigrants participate in United States elections. Although such participation is a violation of election laws in most parts of the United States, enforcement depends principally on disclosure of citizenship status at the time of voter registration. This study examines participation rates by non-citizens using a nationally representative sample that includes non-citizen immigrants. We find that some non-citizens participate in U.S. elections and that this participation has been large enough to change meaningful election outcomes, including electoral college votes. The congressional elections, non-citizen votes likely gave Senate Democrats the pivotal 60th vote needed to overcome filibusters in order to pass health care reform and other Obama administration priorities in the 111th Congress. Now, this happened with Obama, and which is what we're seeing today. It's important. At one point, I want to point out participation rates and participation. Now, when they say status of time of voter registration, right? Remember that, because we're going to jump into that a little later. Now, if you don't think illegal immigrants are voting for president, think again. Now, I'm not against illegal immigrants. My family were immigrants themselves. I have family that are immigrants now. So it's not that I'm against them. It's just I want you to show you guys the Dog and Pony Show. Shout out to Bronze, Flat Power King. I see you out there. Willie Evans, what's good, fam? Good to see you. So if you don't think illegal immigrants are voting for president, think again. Right? So let's think again. When President Trump threatened to release throngs of illegal immigrant detainees to America's sanctuary cities last week, the media and Democrats went bonkers. While the scheme may not pass legal muster, it was pure genius as a political ploy. Now, what I want to jump into is this part down here. It was further down here. Alright, so no illegal immigrants. We're going to go to this right here. This is the only part I want to read from this. No illegal immigrants aren't allowed to directly vote for the commander-in-chief yet, but in vast numbers, they can dramatically alter the electoral college to favor Democrats for at least a decade because a state's electoral votes are based on the number of people residing within that state, not the number of citizens present when the decennial census is taken. If a nefarious power grab seems far-fetched, ask yourself this. Why are Democrats so intent on blocking the addition of citizenship question to the 2020 census? Now, the census this year was big. They made many commercials about the census. They want everybody to make sure you fill out the census and answer the census. And no, I wasn't a part of that. I didn't fill it out. But I just wanted to point out that point there. Now, Kayleigh McEnany broke this news, and it was censored by the media right away. And I'm gonna just start exposing this right here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here today in my personal capacity as an advisor to the campaign. This election is not over. Far from it.
Kayleigh McEnany right now spelling out the Republican National Committee's plan to fight what's been going on in some states, notably Pennsylvania, with the vote count. Let's listen in.
We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be...
I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this. I want to make sure.
There's a lot of whistleblowers that are going off and talking about the illegal counts and the fraud that's going on with the voting. So who's going to govern that? Who's going to oversee all those counts now? Who's going to make sure that the people are counting
legal voting?
Right?
Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this.
Right? And this is where they blocked her off. I'm going to show the complete part.
We want maximum sunlight. We want maximum transparency. We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be discarded. Unlike our opponents,
they want every illegal vote to be discarded, and that's where she got caught off at, because they don't want that to go out to the media when we know that's what's going on. Now, Trump campaign RNC detail voter fraud in Pennsylvania and Michigan. President Trump's campaign and the Republican National Committee detailed evidence Monday they claim reveals election violation in 2 battleground states, pointing to a federal court filing in Pennsylvania and 131 affidavits taken alleging wrongdoing. Where's the media in this? Why isn't the media reporting on that? 131 affidavits. Who are these people filing these affidavits? A whistleblower within the information about being instructed to backdate ballots on November 4th also relayed that information to a U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan. Was somebody backdating ballots? That is illegal, she told reporters. It is unclear, though, how many ballots may have been illegally altered in Michigan. The president is currently trailing presumptive president-elect Joseph R. Biden in the swing state by 146,000 votes, as ballots are still being counted. Right? Now, this is a Pennsylvania postal worker who recanted the allegations, but who was a whistleblower on this fraud. A Pennsylvania postal worker whose claims have been cited by top Republicans has potential evidence of widespread voting irregularities admitted to the U.S. Postal Service investigators that he fabricated the allegations, according to 3 officials briefed on the investigation and a statement from a White House congressional committee. Richard Hopkins claimed that a postmaster in Erie, Pennsylvania instructed postal workers to backdate ballots mailed after Election Day was cited by Senator Lindsey Graham in a letter to the Justice Department calling for federal investigation. Attorney General William P. Barr subsequently authorized federal prosecutors to open probes into credible allegations of voting irregularities and fraud, a reversal of long-standing Justice Department policy. But on Monday, Hopkins, 32, told investigators from U.S. Postal Service Officer of Inspector General that the allegations were not true. Now the guy is trying to recant what he's saying. Here we go with the back and forth pony show, because that's what they love to give us, is the constant back and forth pony show. Now, on from the voter fraud, I'm going to go into, this was a video from High Impact TV, which is, a channel I recommend. He puts out a lot of good information. So I do, suggest that you guys, head out to High Impact TV. Make sure you subscribe to his channel because he does got a lot of good stuff. But this is now happening in his state and what they're going to start mandating. And it doesn't look so pretty.
You're surfing on the net. Your location. This just took place on the Capitol steps in the state of Oklahoma. A group of Democrats gathered together to demand that Governor Kevin Stitt enact a statewide mask mandate. Listen closely to the weak justification for the advancement of tyranny.
Of public safety, the legislature, in a bipartisan manner in both chambers, we passed Senate Bill 661 to protect Oklahomans' lives and the ability for public bodies to function without the risk of spreading COVID.
Now, just as a recap, laws do not save lives. Typically, a large majority of the laws...
Now, with Biden in office, now they want to start mandating the mask. Now, with Biden coming into office, if that does happen, because we still don't have the correct answer, they're going to start putting these muzzles over our faces again, everywhere.
Serve two purposes, and that's it. Number one, to extract more money from the working class, and number two, to increase the power of politicians and their banking masters and corporate sponsors and special interest groups. Most laws are utterly immoral.
And these aren't my words. These are the words of Republican leaders and legislators who supported this legislation through its passage. When this legislation was passed, Oklahoma's daily COVID case numbers were in the 20s.
Now, again, they want to say that mask wearing is what's helping to stop the COVID, but we all know that that's not the truth. But I can't say too much of that because we know how YouTube gets. So, moving on. Biden moves ahead with transition as Trump fights election results. I don't understand how he's moving with a transition without an outcome. But again, the media makes you believe that this is reality, that he is the president-elect. Anyway, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are moving ahead with planning for his forthcoming administration on Sunday, launching a transition website and preparing a team of people to begin working with federal agencies this week. A transition official told CNN that despite President Donald Trump rejecting the election results and fighting them with legal claims, which he has every right to do, work to prepare for a Biden administration continues full speed today. Biden's website, buildbackbetter.com, after posting a minimal version earlier in this week, now includes 4 administration priorities for the upcoming presidency: COVID-19, economic recovery, racial equity, and climate change. Now let's jump into that website. This is the website here. Now, I'm going to just jump into the COVID side. Now remember, the CDC kept going back and forth with their, with their recommendations. We should wear a mask, we shouldn't, we should be this far away. The virus that shall not be named only lingers for this amount of time, only lingers here on this surface for this amount of time. So they never had an accurate, excuse me, they never had an accurate answer for us. It was always a back and forth. And we saw that on the media, and I exposed that a couple times on my channel. So this is part of his mandate. And it's going to enforce the mask wearing. It's going to enforce putting the muzzles right back over our faces. So, fix personnel protective PPE problems for good. President-elect Joe Biden is taking responsibility and giving states, cities, tribes, and territories the critical supplies they need. Fully use the Defense Production Act to ramp up productions of masks, face shields, and other PPE so that the national supply of personal protective equipment exceeds demand and our stores are stockpiled, especially in hard-hit areas that serve disproportionately vulnerable populations, are fully replenished. Build immediately toward a future flexible American source and manufacture capability to ensure we are not dependent on other countries in crisis. Provide clear, consistent evidence-based guide for how communities should navigate the pandemic and resource for schools, small businesses, and families to make it through. Social distancing is not a light switch. It is a dial. President-elect Biden will direct the CDC to provide specific evidence-based guidelines for how to turn the dial up or down, so they can go as they've been doing, as the CDC been doing, but going back and forth. So we'll never get a clear answer, and it'll be a constant back and forth where they can continue to control us and pan us side to side, to up or down relative to the level of risk and degree of viral spread in the community, including when to open or close certain businesses, bars, restaurants, other spaces, when to open up schools, and what steps they need to take to make classrooms and facilities safe, appropriate restrictions on size of gathering, when to issue stay-at-home restrictions, establish a renewable fund for state and local governments to prevent budget shortfalls, which may cause states to face steep cuts to teachers and first responders. People, again, they're going to treat us like wild animals and start putting muzzles on us if this is what's going to happen. Biden wants to see masks mandated in all 50 states. These are the ones that don't require them. Now, I'm not going to go into the ones that don't require them, but this goes to show you the agenda of Biden and what he's going to. Now, I showed this on the live stream I did earlier. Real Clear Politics does not have Biden winning Pennsylvania or presidency yet. Again, the media is pushing that Biden is the president-elect. But live feed appeared to withdraw Joe Biden's president-elect status Monday night and seemingly subtracted Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes from his total, bringing the Democrats' vote down below the 270 threshold to 259. So he is not the president-elect, people. Wake up to that. Last thing I go about this muzzle wearing, and this is very important. This is from the New England Journal of Medicine, and I'm going to just read this right here. We know that wearing a mask outside healthcare facilities offers little, if any, protection from infection. Public health authorities define a significant exposure to COVID-19 as face-to-face contact within 6 feet with a patient with symptomatic COVID-19 that is sustained for at least a few minutes, and some say more than 10 minutes or even 30. The chance of catching COVID-19 from a passing interaction in a public space is therefore minimal. In many cases, the desire for widespread masking is a reflexive reaction to anxiety over the pandemic. So they got you shook in your boots for nothing. The media, with its propaganda, has you shook in your boots for nothing. And yet, the people are running around, muzzling up their kids, the old people. You need to go to Walmart, you gotta wear your muzzle. It's about time we wake up, people. Before I get out of here, shout out to TrueTube. If you guys aren't on TrueTube.com, make sure you sign up to TrueTube.com. I'm here as well on TrueTube. Same name, Rafael Flatplane TV. I do post content over here as well. The content I post up here is what usually YouTube takes down for me. Shout out to my big bro, Chris Cyphers. I appreciate that donation, my brother. All support is all love, and I appreciate that. It means a lot. So, family, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Be safe. Be healthy. Know thyself, love thyself, and catch me on the flip side.